What's up, guys? Welcome back to Machines Inc. As long awaited, we're finally going to start cracking out some work on the van. So as most of you noticed in my van overview video, I mentioned the horn on there and how it was like that super cute light beeping horn. It is super fun if you want to give someone a little toot as you're passing by in the parking lot, or if you want to give someone like a little like green light go, you toot. It's nice because it's not too loud, it's not aggressive, and I kind of like it, so I want to keep it. But if you were doing over like 10 miles an hour, you can't hear that horn whatsoever. As far as actually using it on the road, it serves almost no purpose. And especially in this van, someone kind of swerves in front of you or isn't being too smart, I definitely want them to be able to hear that horn, because the last thing I want to do is get in a crash in this van. Not only because I don't want to destroy the van, but also I don't want to get hurt. As most of you have mentioned in some other videos, there is no crumple zone in this thing. Your legs are the crumple zone, so the last thing I want to do is smash into the back of somebody because they couldn't hear or see me. So what I want to do is I want to create a system where I can have two horns that can be used either together or separately. So I want to keep the factory horn in there to where whenever I have a switch flipped on, I can hit that with a nice tooting sound, but I want to be able to have the switch flipped off, and then the horn will work with the old and new horn in conjunction. So it'll be nice and loud and just make sure that everyone around me hears what's going on. So for the horn, I just grabbed a cheap one off Rock Auto. I actually have the same one right now that I'm using on the XJ, and it's plenty loud. It was only like $7, so it's a pretty good option. So I'm going to take that and make a little wiring harness with a relay, wire it up to a switch that I already have on the dash, and get this thing all set up to have dual horns. Let's dive into it, make a little wiring harness, and see what we can come up with on this thing. So the horn is located right behind the grill here. So first what we're going to do is just remove this skid plate underneath here. So that skid plate is just a bunch of 1/2-inch bolts. We're going to zip that all off. And it's not really a skid plate, it's super thin. It's actually, its main purpose is it has those louvers to be able to force air up to the radiator, since the radiator is kind of tucked more inside the body. But yeah, we'll go ahead and yank that off. That'll give us nice, clean, easy access to that horn so we can start messing with the wiring and making a bracket to mount our new horn and go from there. So there was also a bunch of you guys that had questions about axles, steering, all that kind of stuff on the van. So we'll do just kind of a quick basic overview of that as well. So essentially the front is a Dana 44 passenger drop axle that will be out of a square body pickup. Pretty much I think all the Dana 44 front Chevy axles are the same up until like year 78. It would come on anything from a square body K10 pickup, K5 Blazer, some of the K20s that had the 44 in the front, then 14 bolt in the back, yada yada, so on and so forth. I have a tie rod on it from Off-Road Design. Then the steering drag link, it's the factory steering box, factory pitman arm. Then the drag link to the knuckle, one half of it is a welded on portion from a square body drag link. The beginning portion of it is the factory van one, and the factory van one is actually starting to bend just a little bit under kind of extreme stress while doing a little bit of off-roading. So for that, I am going to replace it at some point, but we're not going to be doing that today. And then the front leaf springs are Chevy 52s, which are the rear leaf springs off of most like earlier square body trucks, half tons. They flex really good, they're decently easy to find, and they're definitely way smoother riding than the factory leaf springs that came in here. I think the factory leaf springs were like 46 or 48 inches long, so anytime you can go with a longer, flatter leaf, you'll get a smoother ride, and also it can bear a little bit more weight, which isn't a big concern here because this thing's not very heavy, but something to look out for. All right, so here are the two horns. So the one that I pulled out, it's a Delco Remy. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is an original horn, but it was just what was in it when I got it. And then this guy here is the new one that I got. Like I said, scooped this one off Rock Auto. It's about $7. This is what it's called. It's the Freeway Blaster, but yeah, part number 72102. And then we'll make kind of a bracket that holds both of these together with a little relay so we can operate both of them. I also just want to give you guys a quick little demonstration of the two horns so you can kind of get a feel for the sound of them. I just got to jump back here is my 12 volt supply. This is the horn that I pulled off the van. And then here is the new horn. definitely a lot loud. But right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and focusing on mounting the secondary horn, making a bracket for both of them to mount, and then we'll get to doing our wiring harness. All right, so we've got it all installed back, gave it a test, everything's working. So essentially, basic little overview of what we got going on. Whenever the key's off, the new louder horn is gonna be the primary horn. So like right now, if I were to hit it, that's gonna toot the new horn. Now, when we put the key into the on position, again, whenever I tap the horn, we're gonna have the louder new horn work. Until I flip the switch to the on position, that is going to then activate that relay. That's going to switch us over to using the old horn. So we can, in this position, have the new loud horn, flip it over, and we can have that deeper, fun horn below. So overall, I'm really happy how this whole thing turned out. I like that I got to keep the dash nice and clean and just reuse the old switch that I had on here. All the wiring was super simple. I mean, really all I had to do was set up that little relay and mini harness down by the horns, and then we just ran one wire all the way down to it following the factory horn wire. So yeah, overall, I think it'll be cool. I'm really glad to have a actual loud horn in this thing. It does make me nervous driving around that I don't have an actual horn to honk at people if, you know, I get into a bad situation. But I do love that old horn and how it sounds, so I'm glad I was able to keep that and have it on the switch back and forth. So I know this wasn't the regular fabrication project that we normally do on this channel, but these small little electrical upgrades are really fun. It's nice just to, you know, clip a few things together, set up some wires, and have a project completed. It's not a lot of manual labor, and you definitely get a lot of reward in how fun it is to throw it together. So hope you guys like following along while I tinker around in the garage. And I'm sure you guys are excited to see a little bit of the van moving forward. We do have some more projects for the van planned. One of the biggest things I want to address is I do have this huge sheet of steel in my garage right now that kind of needs to get out of the way. And this thing kind of needs a new bumper. So I'm kind of throwing around a couple ideas for a front bumper for the van, and I really like some input from you guys, what you think would look cool. Part of me is really excited to use this new tubing bender and do a tube front bumper. But I think for the style of the van, I think like a true plate bumper would come out looking a little bit better. So let me know what you guys think would look good on here. Could even do a hybrid style bumper where the center is plate and have tube outers. Right now what I'm thinking I want to go for is a full plate bumper that's full width, but maybe have like a tube bull bar that goes around to protect like the headlight area, and then mount a winch up in there. So I don't know, you guys let me know what you think would look good. Because like I said, I kind of need this steel to get out of my garage, and the best place I know to put it is mounted on the front of the van. So anyways guys, if you did like today's video, like, subscribe, share. I'm Jake with Machines Incorporated, and as always, thanks for watching.